So the process of losing weight and keeping it off is not as easy as they make it seem on social media, but fortunately, it's also not as hard. The reason losing weight and keeping it off is such a difficult process is because there are a lot of myths out there that people believe are true, but in actuality, they're almost 100% false. There are a lot of people trying to lose weight, but there still is a 95% failure rate. And if you fall within this 95%, this video is for you. Because in this video, I'm going to tell you why most people fail when trying to achieve their weight loss goals. And I'm going to show you how you can break that cycle. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to point out 5 major myths of weight loss that a lot of people believe are true. Number 1, that you need to exercise more and exercise harder if you want to lose weight. Myth number 2, that if you're trying to boost your metabolism, you need to eat 4 to 6 meals per day. Number 3, that if you adopt a vegan diet, you will lose weight. Number 4, wearing a sweat bag or a waist trainer while you're working out is going to help you to burn more belly fat. And myth number 5, which is last but definitely not least, is that you can focus on certain body parts to lose fat in those areas. Now what I'm going to do is somewhere towards the end of this video is I'm going to give you a 5-step process that's going to multiply your ability to burn fat and keep it off up to 10-fold. Now, the reason that I am going to put it later inside the video is because there is some contextual information that I want to give you first so that when I tie everything together, it's going to make a whole lot more sense. But if you don't want to watch this whole video to the end, I'm going to provide some timestamps below in the description section that will help you jump to the specific information inside this video that you might want to hear. But I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to be missing out on some good information. So even if you decide to skip forward, make sure that you come back and watch this full video, because at the end of the day, incomplete information is just as harmful as bad information. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into breaking down some of these myths. The number 1 trap that I have seen a lot of people fall into that I've worked with is they believe that if they want to lose a lot of fat, they have to exercise longer and they have to exercise harder. This is simply not true. And in actuality, it's probably the biggest reason why most people fall off when they're trying to get on a weight loss regimen. So the first thing we got to talk about is that exercise, though while it's important, it only makes up about 20% of a successful weight loss journey. Here's a fact. You're not going to burn enough calories during a 1-hour workout to put your body in a fat burning state long enough to help you lose weight and keep it off. Look at it like this. It takes about 3,500 calories to burn 1 pound of fat. Now, most people are not going to burn that many calories inside of an hour. And to be honest, if you're just starting out or if you haven't worked out in a while, a 1-hour training session, especially if it's a high intensity session, is actually going to do you more harm than good. Now, I can get into the neurological and the biological reasons on why this is true, but I don't want to make this video longer than it already has to be. But I do talk about it in my video, The Science of Burning Fat, which I will drop a link up here. You should see it right here, or I'm also going to put it inside the description section below. Now, even though exercise only makes up about 20% of your weight loss journey, exercise is essential because it has a lot of other health benefits, and it can increase your basal metabolic rate, or your BMR for short. Now, I'm not saying that exercise is not important. What I don't want you to do is thinking that you have to get in the gym and be killing yourself every single day just to lose a lot of pounds. Now, the second myth of weight loss is needing to eat 4 to 6 meals per day to boost your metabolism. This is simply not true. Now, when it comes to your metabolism, that's a bunch of different things, like your metabolic state. There's different metabolic functions. You have different metabolic rates. To kind of put it simply is your metabolism is the chemical reactions that your body goes through just to help you to sustain day-to-day life. and it is not affected by any single variable. That includes how many meals you eat in a day or how many meals you don't have inside of a day. Now, there is an aspect of your metabolism that does focus on burning calories, and that's called your basal metabolic rate, or your MBR, what we spoke about earlier. And there's a lot of different things that can affect this part of your metabolism, such as physical activity, your mood state, whether you are fed or in a fasted state, the hormones happening inside your body, in particular, what's going on with your thyroid gland. Now, like I was saying, so your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, and this is not to be confused with your BMI or your body mass index. This is how much energy that is required for your body to function normally throughout the day on certain body systems like your breathing, digestion, and repairing cells. And this is how many calories that your body burns doing this stuff while you're at rest. This means you're not doing any exercise or you're not doing anything. For non-athletes or people who do not have a high physically demanding job, your body tends to burn about between 1,100 and 2,500 calories per day in adults. Most of these calories are consumed by functions of the liver, which uses about 27%, functions of your brain, which uses about 19% of those calories, your heart, which uses about 7% of those calories, your skeletal muscular system, which uses about 18%, and the other 19% of your daily caloric intake goes to the other systems and stuff that supports these organs. Now, this is something that happens every day, whether you are exercising or not. The $1,000,000 question is your body drawing the bulk of the energy that these systems require from stored fat, stored sugar, or a constant supply that's inside of food that's inside your body? And this is what happens when people call themselves eating 4 to 6 meals a day. If you're eating 4 to 6 meals a day, then you're pretty much always having food inside your system, which is going to keep your body having high levels of insulin, which is going to be trying to store this food as fat, but it's also going to be keeping food inside your stomach so that when you are having these natural body functions or even exercising, instead of the body drawing energy from your stored fat, it's just going to draw energy from the food that's inside your system. And now when people are talking about boosting their metabolism and what they can actually do to do that, one of the only ways that can actually boost your metabolism over time is adding muscle tissue. And this is where resistance training and using weights come in. But I talk about that in my video. I'm also going to put a link below on the 10 reasons why black men and women over 40 should be lifting weights. So you want to check out that video because it's not just about lifting weights. It talks more about the health benefits that comes with that. One more thing before we move on, and I just want to point out something when people are talking about eating 4 to 6 meals a day. Insulin is a fat storage hormone, like I said before. If you wake up in the morning and you start out eating breakfast, the moment that you start eating, your body puts out insulin, and now you're not going to be burning any more fat as long as you're eating throughout the day. So if you're really looking to burn more fat and burn it doing the least amount of exercising, you want to rethink those eating patterns. This is why intermittent fasting is so important, because it allows your body to do a metabolic reset. I put a link to a video where I fully break down what intermittent fasting is and why most people are doing it wrong in the description section below. So make sure you check that out. Okay, now for the third myth. People thinking that if just because you adopt a vegan diet that you're automatically going to be healthier and you're going to lose a lot of weight. Now, before I get into this, I did a mostly vegan, sometimes vegetarian diet for the better part of 20 years. So I'm speaking from experience, and I have no shade against people that want to eat a vegan diet. But if you are thinking that just because you stop eating meat, it's going to make you lose weight or you're somehow detoxing, that's just not true. If you want to lose weight and keep it off, You need to find a diet that works for you. And this is one of the reasons why a vegan diet won't work for a lot of people, because it is too drastic of a change. What they say, the best diet is the one that you can start and stick to. The next reason I don't recommend a vegan diet for weight loss is that vegan diets are inherently carbohydrate rich. If you're already suffering from near or high levels of stored fat, your body will continue to be in fat storing mode. It won't matter because you cut out meat or because you're eating a lot of vegetables and fruits. Now, I'm not saying that there's no place for a vegan diet. I'm also not saying that it might not be very healthy for you. I am saying that just because you decide to go vegan doesn't mean that you will lose weight and keep it off. The fourth weight loss myth is that wearing a sweat bag or some type of waist trainer while walking or working out will help you burn more belly fat. Here's the truth. Wearing a plastic bag while you exercise makes you sweat more, and it may seem like because you're sweating more, that you're burning more calories, which should lead to you burning more fat. However, that theory is just not true. What sweating does is it removes water from your body so that it can actually cool you off. It's like your body's radiator. It's not a calorie burner. So just because you've walked, you've sweated, you've weighed yourself before you walked and you weighed yourself after, and you are lower in weight, doesn't mean that your body burned more calories, which translated into burning more fat. What really happened is that your body just burned off water weight. And once you go back to rehydrating, those 2, 3, 4 pounds that you might have lost during that workout session or walk session will be back before you close your eyes and wake up the next morning. See, this is one thing that people don't think about when it comes to changing up your body. There's a difference between weight loss, fat loss, and body recomposition. Just because you've lost weight doesn't mean that you've lost fat, because you could be losing water and you could be losing muscle, but your body still has the fat. This is why a lot of people, they become what we call the skinny fat. Most people don't know this, but the way that the body gets rid of fat is mostly through breathing out. Without getting too technical, when fat leaves the body, 84% of it is exhaled as carbon dioxide, or simply, we were saying earlier, when you breathe out. Now, your body has to be burning fat for this process to really be maximized. This is why what you eat and how often you eat is really a game changer. Because if you're eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of carbohydrates with stores of sugar, or you're eating a lot of times per day, which means that you have a lot of dietary energy inside your stomach, when you're exhaling, when you're working out or exerting yourself, that fat that's being burned is coming from the food that's in your stomach, and it's not being broken down as fat. So, myth number 5, targeted weight loss. Saying that you can work out certain parts of your body and burn fat in those areas. That's simply not true. Now, I get it. Spot reduction training is popular because, and it seems like it should work because it appeals to our intuition. I mean, after all, it does seem perfectly reasonable to assume that fat you burn while exercising comes from the area that you feel like you're getting the burn in. But once again, that is just not true. As it turns out, there are a few basic physiological reasons why targeted fat loss just does not work. For instance, the fat that's contained inside the fat cells exists in a form called triglycerides. Muscle cells, however, cannot directly use triglycerides as fuel. As a result, the fat that's broken down to be used as fuel during prolonged exercise can come from any parts of your body, not just the part that's being worked the most. Another reason why is that many of the exercises that people try to associate with spot reduction do not actually burn that many calories. And if you're not burning enough calories, you're not going to lose much fat from any area inside your body. Where exercise is not a weight loss tool, it's more of a weight management tool. And definitely trying to use exercise to target fat in certain areas of your body is really setting yourself up to be disappointed. Now, if you are watching this video and you found yourself believing about 3 out of 5 of these myths, or if you find yourself believing all 5 of them, this is probably the main reason why it's very difficult or next to impossible for you to lose weight and keep it off. But don't feel bad. Over 95% of people believe a lot of this same stuff, and this is why they keep falling into the cycle of yo-yoing, losing weight, gaining it back, or not even being able to lose weight at all. But that's why I'm here. Because as I promised, I'm going to give you the 5-step process that will multiply the probability of you successfully losing weight and keeping it off by tenfold. So here we go. Number 1, and most importantly, you must have updated and the correct information. Misinformation, like I said before, is just as harmful as bad information. Number 2, you need support and accountability from either a person or a group. Listen, it is almost impossible to do something that you've never done before by yourself. Number 3, you need restful sleep. Your body can burn about 60% of its fat while you're sleeping. The key is not eating about 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep and having unbroken sleep from 7 to 8 hours. And as an extra bonus, the body does about 80% of its healing while you are sleeping on an empty stomach. Number 4, you have to have the right dietary regimen. The key is finding a way of eating that allows your body to maintain a healthy basal metabolic rate, which is giving it the required nutrients that it needs so that it can function at an optimal level while cutting out those unnecessary calories. Number 5, the right weekly exercise and activity regimen. To be clear, there's a difference between exercising and being active. Exercises such as lifting weights, running, or other high-intensity workouts is something that you should do a few times a week for short periods of time. But being active, such as gardening, playing with the children or the grandchildren, doing intentional movements while you're at work, like getting up and moving around every hour for about 5 to 10 minutes if you can. This is something that you should be practicing every day. This is especially true if you have a sit-down job. Listen, if this sounds like it's a lot of information, it's because it is, but mostly because people have been filled with a lot of misinformation. That's why I started this channel here. I want to make sure that you get the correct information that's going to get you right. Now, once you get a lot of this free information that I'm providing and you're looking to take the next steps and you want to be part of a community that's going to provide you with personal accountability, updated information on how to burn fat and keep it off, and information on how to get in the best shape of your life, especially if you're over 40, then you're going to want to click the first link that you come to in the description section below this video. That link is going to provide you with access to my A Black Man Inspires personal development, health, and wellness community. In this community, you'll get access to my health and wellness guide. You'll get a 30-minute one-on-one consultation with me so that we can create an exercise, activity, and an eating regimen tailor-made for you so that you can get on the right track and stay on the right track till you get to where you want to be. Now, this is not a monthly membership community. This is just a one-time transaction that gives you lifetime access so that we could live amplified. All right. I'll see you in the next video.